It started like any other morning on The View, full of buzz and excitement, with a live studio audience cheering as Jennifer Lopez's global superstar. Business mogul and pop culture icon graced the stage with her signature confidence and elegance, dressed in a sleek white ensemble and flashing that million-dollar smile. She sat comfortably alongside the show's co-hosts, poised to discuss her upcoming tour, new album, and a Netflix documentary that had fans raving. For the first few minutes, everything was smooth. The conversation flowed about music, dancing, and her enduring influence in the industry. But the tone shifted sharply when Joy Behar, known for her sharp tongue and dry humor, brought up Lopez's very public love life. At first it was veiled in humor, joked about JLo's romantic resume, chuckling about how the tabloids couldn't seem to keep up with her. The audience laughed nervously, unsure whether it was playful banter or a brewing insult, and Jennifer's smile froze for just a second. Asterisk, that second was all it took. Joy, perhaps sensing discomfort, doubled down. "So Jen," she said, "are we locking it down for good this time? Or are we still figuring out who's Mr. Right this decade?" The audience laughed again, but this time more awkwardly. Jennifer tried to play along with grace, responding with a tight-lipped smile and saying, "I'm very happy with where I am, Joy." But it was clear something had shifted in her energy. What came next couldn't have been predicted. Joy leaned in and added, "I mean, look, people love a love story, but isn't it exhausting trying to rebrand every few years? Career-wise and personally?" The question landed like a slap. The room fell silent. Jennifer turned her head slowly toward Joy and replied, her voice lower, steady, but firm. "That's a pretty harsh way of putting it, especially coming from someone who's made a career out of being opinionated about women like me." The crowd gasped audibly, the tension breaking into something almost electric. Asterisk, Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg tried to intervene and steer the conversation back to safer ground. But the chemistry between Jennifer and Joy had already curdled. JLo wasn't there to be ridiculed or reduced to a punchline, and it showed in every syllable that followed. "I've worked my ass off for 3 decades, she continued, her voice cracking slightly not from weakness but from sheer exasperation. "And every time a woman like me achieves something, she's told she's too much, doing too much, changing too much. But let a man do it, and he's evolving." Joy scoffed, brushing her hair aside, and mumbled, "It's not that deep, Jen. It's just a talk show." But Jennifer's patience had run dry.
"Ow.
"You don't get to decide what's deep for me," she snapped. "You invite me here to promote my work, not to be dragged for my personal life. I've dealt with enough of that from the press eye. Don't expect it from another woman on national TV." Asterisk, what made the moment more surreal was how still the studio became. Normally buzzing with energy, applause, and chatter, now there was only the sound of Jennifer unclipping her mic. The audience didn't know whether to clap in support or stay frozen in disbelief. She stood up slowly, her face calm but resolute. "I think we're done here," she said softly, not looking at anyone in particular. The camera operators hesitated, unsure if they should follow her exit or cut away. Joy stayed silent, arms folded, lips pursed, her posture stiff as Jennifer turned and walked off the stage without another word. The co-hosts looked at each other in disbelief. Whoopi raised an eyebrow, clearly annoyed but choosing not to address the elephant in the room immediately. Instead, she motioned for a commercial break, her voice tight. "We'll be right back," she said, as the screen faded to black. But the fallout was already in motion. Asterisk, backstage producers scrambled to make sense of what had just happened. Staffers hovered nervously outside Jennifer's dressing room, unsure if they should apologize, explain, or simply stay out of the way. Sources from inside the show later revealed that Lopez was furious not only with Joy, but with the show itself. For allowing the segment to go so far off the rails, she reportedly told her team they knew what they were doing. That wasn't an interview. That was a setup. Meanwhile, Joy remained unbothered in her dressing room, sipping tea and brushing off concerns. "She's a big girl," she was overheard saying. "If she can handle A-list fame, she can handle a few questions." But others on the crew weren't so sure. Word spread quickly through the ABC offices, and soon the higher-ups were alerted. Damage control meetings began before Jennifer even left the building. By the time the taping ended, clips of the moment were already flooding social media. Asterisk on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, fans were quick to choose sides. Hashtag I stand with JLo trended almost instantly, with people praising her for defending herself against what many called disguised misogyny. Others took Joy's side, arguing that she's known for her sarcastic style and that celebrities should have thicker skin. Commentators on YouTube and entertainment news platforms dissected every second of the exchange, analyzing tone, expression, and context. Was it a misunderstanding, or had Joy truly crossed a line? Was Jennifer too sensitive, or did she finally draw a long overdue boundary? By the end of the day, the entire internet was ablaze with opinions, memes, remixes, and think pieces. Even fellow celebrities jumped in. Tara G.P. Henson tweeted, "Some people forget being kind is free." Kelly Clarkson posted a cryptic quote about self-respect. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Ben Affleck remained notably silent. Photographed later that day looking particularly tense. Asterisk the next morning. The View attempted to address the incident briefly. Whoopi opened the show with a generic comment about how sometimes things get heated, but made it clear they wouldn't be rehashing the moment. Joy didn't mention Jennifer's name once, and her usual smug humor was noticeably toned down. ABC issued no official apology, but did release a statement saying that The View respects all its guests and regrets any moment that might cause offense or discomfort. For Jennifer's part, she remained silent for the first 48 hours. Then, posted a black and white photo of herself backstage at the show with the caption, "Know your worth. Never settle." The post garnered over 5 million likes in less than a day, with supportive comments flooding in from both fans and celebrities. She never mentioned Joy. She didn't have to. Her message had already landed loud and clear. Asterisk, by the weekend, the controversy had shifted from viral clip to cultural conversation. Articles appeared in major media outlets discussing the treatment of female celebrities, especially those who've built empires from beauty, talent, and sheer grit. Journalists asked, why are women still punished for reinventing themselves? Why is confidence so often confused with arrogance when it comes from a woman? Jennifer Lopez had walked off that set, but what she left behind was bigger than any single show. She'd reignited a conversation about respect, dignity, and the limits of keeping it real when it veers into disrespect. Whether Joy meant harm or not became irrelevant. What mattered was that Jennifer had drawn a line, and millions of women saw themselves in that moment. It wasn't just about JLo anymore. It was about how we talk to women, especially powerful ones. When we think they owe us access to every piece of their past, asterisk in the days that followed. The ratings for The View dipped slightly, while Lopez's music stream saw a noticeable spike. Her team confirmed that all future daytime talk appearances would be carefully vetted. And rumor had it several other female stars canceled upcoming visits to the show. Joy Behar's fan base remained intact, but even some longtime viewers admitted the moment had felt unnecessarily harsh. For Jennifer Lopez, the incident only solidified her evolution from pop princess to cultural powerhouse, a woman who won't tolerate being reduced to tabloid headlines by anyone, even in front of a live audience. She had walked off, yes, but in doing so, she walked into a new level of control over her own narrative. No tears, no breakdowns, just quiet strength in the face of public disrespect. It was the kind of mic drop that didn't need a follow-up. Jennifer Lopez didn't flinch. She didn't falter. She just stood up, and the whole world listened.